Viewers, good evening and thank you for joining us here on Times Now. You're watching News Now Overnight and I'm Rohit Srivatsa. Let's begin this broadcast with breaking news that we're getting at the moment. In fact, it's day 17 of the war, and the United States President Donald Trump, in his latest war briefing, has now claimed that the US has been hammering Iran's capacity to threaten commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. US President Donald Trump, in fact, has repeated his call to nations to help reopen the shipping traffic in the Strait of Hormuz. Now remember, this comes after several American allies had showed very little enthusiasm for Donald Trump's proposal. But now Donald Trump once again reiterating his demand. Here's what Donald Trump said just a short while earlier.
Our powerful military campaign to end the threats posed by the Iranian regime continued in full force over the past few days. They have been literally obliterated. The Air Force is gone. The Navy is gone. Many ships have been sunk. They're warfighting ships, but I guess they didn't know how to use them. And anti-aircraft is decimated. Their radar is gone, and their leaders are gone. Other than that, they're doing quite well. Since the beginning of the conflict, we've struck more than 7,000 targets across Iran, and these have been mostly commercial and military targets. We've achieved a 90% reduction in their ballistic missile launches and a 95% reduction in drone attacks. The missiles are trickling in now at very low levels because they don't have too many missiles left. We've also attacked the manufacturing plants, the places where they manufacture the missiles and the drones, and that's going on today. We just hit 3 of them today, and it's getting very hard for them to manufacture. More than 100 Iranian naval vessels have been sunk or destroyed over the last week. And as you know, we attacked Kharg Island and knocked it literally, destroyed everything on the island except for the area where the oil is. I call it the pipes. We left the pipes. We didn't want to do that, but we will do that. We can do that on 5 minutes notice. It'll be over. But for purposes of someday rebuilding that country, I guess we did the right thing. But it may not stay that way. Just one simple word and the pipes will be gone too, but it'll take a long time to rebuild that. And we're hammering their capacity to threaten commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz with more than 30 mine-laying ships destroyed. We hit, to the best of our knowledge, all of their mine-laying ships. Now they can put them on other types of ships, I guess, and drop them in, but we don't know that any have even been dropped in. We're not sure that any have been. That's a big negative for them if they do it. It's a form of suicide. But we don't know that they have dropped any in. But we've hit all 30 of their ships and destroyed them. They're all at the bottom of the sea. We strongly encourage other nations whose economies depend on the Strait far more than ours. You know, we get less than 1% of our oil from the Strait. And some countries get much more. Japan gets 95%. China gets 90%. Many of the Europeans get quite a bit. South Korea gets 35%. So we want them to come and help us with the Strait. We have it in very good shape. They're negotiating, and we always talk. You know, somebody said, well, would you talk? Why would you even talk to them? I talk to everybody because sometimes good things come out of it. But I don't know if they're ready yet. They're taking a pounding. I don't know if they're ready yet. And we don't even know their leaders. Look, all of their leaders are dead, as far as we know. But they're all dead. We don't know who we're dealing with.
And that, of course, was the latest statement that came in from US President Donald Trump in his briefing just a short while earlier. In fact, we have Rishabh who's joining us on the phone line now to give us more details. Rishabh, clearly no signs of de-escalation at the moment, and the US President now also making it clear that Kharg Island is on their target. Already there were strikes. Now they're preparing for more strikes on the Kharg Island. And of course, Kharg Island is the one place from where 90% of Iran's crude exports go out of. So clearly, Iran is, or rather America is going for Iran's jugular here.
Well, Rohit, there are red lines, and then there are lines that cannot be touched. Even U.S. understands that, bombing nuclear sites of Iran was still taken in a different way, but bombing oil sites of Kharg Island will be taken in a way that everything in the Gulf would be targeted. The oil fields of the region, the water, distillation plants of the region, the shipping industry, shipping ports of the region, everything is under under radar for Iran right now. And now, with every attack or every choice of target that the West is doing, Israel and US, they are preparing for the retaliation from Iran. And the narrative is being, but the military right now wants to take every step very cautiously, because they know that any retaliation coming in from Iran is going to hit them really hard. And if Iran goes after the water in the region, then it will be very, very difficult for US to fighting against Iran, because the Gulf partners, the regional partners, would not stand by US in that case.
Right, absolutely. In fact, stay on with us, Rishabh, because we are now getting in more breaking news coming in.